Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much for coming back after the lunch. So now we are studied three more types of journaling. So we have done free writing, awareness journal, prayer journal, and gratitude. Now we'll start with what is called as a blessing journal. So blessing is a word, it appears as if you are blessing someone. It's actually one of the most profound ways of journaling by which we access deep contentment. So what is blessing? All of us are a product of blessings. We have received prayers, good wishes from so many people since we were children. Our relatives, our uncles, our neighbors, our parents, everyone gave us blessings. So what we do in this journal is, we've already studied gratitude. So generally gratitude is about self. Here we are taking gratitude to the next level by wishing good for somebody else. So you will see that your heart becomes expansive. So what we do is we write few names. Against that name we write two common words, Krishna, please. And then we write a prayer. 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, depending on how much you want to write a prayer for that person. So, okay, so yeah, you could write any name. Like I have some names in front of me. Mika and Gaura, they are two sisters. Krishna, please let both the children be safe and let them always remember you. That's one sentence. Then second, Ananteshwar Prabhu and family. Krishna, please let him and his family never forget you. Please protect them from Maya. Vijay Keshav Prabhu. Krishna, please let his health become excellent and let him always remember you with love and gratitude. You see what I'm doing? Just write one name and write Krishna, please, and then write a prayer for that person. I know this sounds very difficult and foreign because we never prayed for others. We generally live for ourselves. But when we start this, and the moment you start liking it, then you start actually deriving happiness of a higher dimension. Generally our happiness is centered on self. But there is a whole world of contentment waiting to be tapped, which is beyond ourselves. Even when we pray for others, we are selfish. Like I remember once I was doing this blessing journal. I wrote one name, Mayur Prabhu, because I had some small altercation with him some time ago. So uska इससे निकल गया Mayur Prabhu. Krishna, please let him understand that I am a good person. So you're praying for somebody else, but you're still full of yourself. So that's very deep rooted in us. So it requires some practice, but then it's very fulfilling when we learn to enjoy this. You suddenly start seeing your heart expanding. Envy makes way for abundance. Envy makes way for... See, envy is one of the common features. Bhagavatam says, Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nanam Santi Sahasrasha Apashyatam Asatatatmadatam Griheshu Griha Medinam. So we live in houses, but we are Griha Medhi, not Grihastha. Medhi means envy. We live with envy, insecurity. But when we start praying for others, you'll see so much joy in your heart. Some of you may immediately experience as you start the journal. Some of you maybe after some time, after a few days of practice. So can we do this for a few minutes? So what do we do? How do we do this journal? When I say start, what do? You write a name. Krishna, please is the two common words, and then you can write whatever you want. Like I wrote one name, Sundaranand Prabhu, one of my god brothers from Delhi. Then Krishna, please let him come out of the cancer. He's going through chemotherapy. So I wrote a prayer for him. So all of us know at least 50 people, right? So you can pray for somebody else. It could be a neighbor, it could be your relatives, They don't even need to know that you're praying for them. And I know it sounds a little strange because we've never prayed for others. We tell others, please pray for me. What about be praying for somebody else? Okay, before you do this, I'll give you a personal story of how this will help in the long. I did this once. I said, okay, let me do this for 21 days, 3 weeks. I said, let me do it every day. Initially, it was a drag. At one point of time, it became irresistible. Actually, I was looking forward for writing this for others. So by the end of 3 weeks, then I continued doing it every day. Then one day, I think after around total 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks, one day, I came after my morning journaling, I came to the temple for japa. Then there was Guru Puja going on, and Guru Puja was standing in Kirtan. I saw one devotee was doing Aarti of Prabhupada. I looked at him, and suddenly my heart, see, these are ineffable experiences, they cannot be explained in words. But I'll try my best to explain what I went through. I looked at him, and suddenly my heart, there was a tsunami of emotions of love. I felt कितना अच्छा है यार, कितना पूरा अपना लाइफ दे दिया प्रभुपाद के लिए, कितना अच्छा आदमी है. And I just felt like let his life be auspicious, let everything be good for him. I mean, it's just like one of the devotees I know. It's not that something special happened. Just I felt overwhelming energy of affection, love. And then at one point of time, my eyes became moist. And then I thought, kya ho raha hai? It never happened. I thought I may create a scene or something is happening. So I just became sober and I turned back and I went towards the deities, the altar. From Prabhupada, I turned back. When I came near the altar, I saw two brahmacharis were, cleaning the floor of the altar. They were putting water for the deities. I looked at them and suddenly all their good qualities started manifesting in my heart. Oh, kitna acha hai, kitna seva karta hai, ye kitna acha hai. Well, as if, I was like feeling, oh, both of them are so good. They're so nice. Oh, itna anand unko dekh ke. Then I thought, what's happening? I just couldn't handle that emotion. Then I looked on my left side, there was one grihastha who comes every day to the temple with lotus flowers for the deities. I don't know from where he gets very beautiful, big, pinkish lotus flowers blooming. So I looked at him, plastic mein leke aata, and he was offering to the pujari, and I was looking at him, I thought, kitna acha hai yaar. I was feeling he's also so good, and then I saw two kids running. I thought, bachche kitne achhe hain, let their lives be auspicious. If I've done anything good, let all the blessings go to them. इधर उधर देखा, जो भी देख रहा वो सब अच्छे, everybody is good. I was like, how come? Generally we are very cynical, right? We look at everything suspiciously. But for a change, that day morning, that few minutes, I was feeling the whole world is beautiful, everybody is nice, and it's amazing. ISKCON is an amazing place. It was like as if I was on a high. I was like, wow. It lasted for a long time. Long time in the sense, maybe a few minutes. I was feeling beautiful. And then I felt, what happened? I'm trying to connect the dots. And then I felt, last few days I've been consciously wishing good for others, seeing good in others, praying for others. So I'm a very suspicious and cynical person by nature. So somebody so hard-hearted and stone-hearted like me could feel so happy and joyful. How much more it would affect somebody who is sincere like all of you, or somebody. It's a spiritual experience, right? When we give out love, it's giving love actually. So this is one of the experiences I had which convinced me that this kind of journal is very, very, very nourishing. Because gratitude is all about ourselves, then it's very limiting. Ultimately, it's selfish. But here we are going beyond ourselves. Then we touch a higher dimension of happiness. Can you do this for a few minutes? The time starts now. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for doing this exercise. You feel good, right, when you pray for others? So we are not somebody great. It's not that, I am so special, I can pray for others, and No, it's not like that. We are ordinary, but when I pray, it's not because I can help someone by my prayers. but I see my own heart becoming purer. So when I pray for others, I don't know how much it benefits him or her. Ideally, it is for them, but Krishna may be laughing at my audacity कि ये दूसरों के लिए प्रे कर रहा है, वो बड़ा आदमी है नहीं. But at the same time, Krishna is seeing that a sincere effort to become free from envy. So it's like that. And it helps. Like we were with Pandav Sena youth group. We were traveling from London to Paris by Eurostar. So I was at the station. The chairman of Pandav Sena is a young boy, Ram. And he had told me that I have to give Ramayana lectures. Ramayana is one of the favorite scriptures of many devotees. So I was told that 9 days you have to speak entire Ramayana from Bal Kand to Yuddha Kand. So, and all these Pandav Sena youth were coming for the 8 days retreat were all already familiar with ISKCON and Ramayana and Krishna consciousness. They were young boys and girls, the age group of 17 to 23. Around 120, 130 boys and girls. They're all going by the same train together. Suddenly at that railway station, Ram points one girl to me. He says, "You see that girl? Maybe 18 or 19-year-old girl." I said, "Yeah, I see her. She's a British girl. I think her name is Victoria or something." He said, "Prabhu, she's joining us for this retreat and she's absolutely basic, totally new person. She has no idea about Krishna consciousness and she's coming for this trip." I said, "Why did you call her? And I'm going to speak on Ramayana. She won't understand anything. In the sense, she's very new." I said, "No, Prabhu, but you just be yourself. You just speak Ramayana. We will take care of her because they have to get up in the morning. They have Mangalarati." I said, "She'll get lost. She's very new for this intense retreat for 10 days. So why did you get her?" He said, "Prabhu, I met her for the first time yesterday." I said, "Then why is she coming for this retreat?" He said, "We were at the bus stop and she looked at us. She said, 'Who are you guys?' She saw one of us had a Kanti Mala, one of us had a Tilak. So we explained to her, we are Pandav Sena, ISKCON, and then immediately she Googled there itself and she found out that we are Pandav Sena, we are going for a trip to France tomorrow." So she said, "Oh, you guys are going to France tomorrow. Can I join you?" So we said yes, and then today she's there in the railway station. So that's how life happens there. I said, "Wow." So then I said, "But how do we take care of her?" He said, "You don't worry about that. You just focus on Ramayana. We will take care of her." But I was conscious of her being absolutely new. How will she understand Balkand, Sundarakand? So anyway, she was there. So my morning journal routine is there every day. So 5 minutes is devoted for prayer for others. So one name was common all the 8 days. Because, Victoria. So I would write her name and then I would say, "Krishna, please let her not get bewildered in this yatra." Next day, one line was, "Krishna, please let her understand the basics of Krishna consciousness." Third day, something for her because I was looking at her. Is she comfortable? But she was just curious. Every day morning she would get up, attend Mangalarati. Anyway, so last day I was surprised. Last day of the retreat, I was leaving back. She was dressed in sari. And she comes to me and she says, "Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Ramayana is amazing. Ram is so wonderful. Sita is so nice. Hanuman is cool." Like she was glorifying all the characters of Ramayana. And I was like, "Wow, you like Ramayana?" She says, "Yes, Ramayana is so amazing. I just love this trip." I said, "But you're not bewildered. You're not stressed out. Early morning you have to get up." And there in this trip, all the boys and girls, they only have to wash the pot. They have to do the cooking. They have to manage everything. They have to attend the classes. Are you comfortable? Don't you find this little strain getting up because DT worship, we have DT's puja. And I was wondering, how can a new person appreciate all of this? So she said, "No, I love it. I love the way you guys dress. A plant with a skirt." She was talking about our Tulsi Maharani. So she was very new, but she was very open. Anyway, I left that Pandav Sena trip with a very abundant heart, with a lot of joy. And then I called up Ram after a few weeks. I asked him, "How is that girl doing?" He said, "Prabhu, she's attending every week our youth group meeting and now she's chanting 4 rounds every day of Hare Krishna." So I was like, wow, she's become a devotee. So what is the probability that a British girl who has no idea about India, Hinduism, Ramayana, Krishna, she's attracted to Lord Ram? I mean, it's so faith-giving, isn't it? So I'm not taking any credit for it. I'm just saying, I'm nothing to do with that being a devotee, but I'm just saying the overall energy of love, sharing Krishna consciousness, praying for others, and so there is some, even if you don't tell the person, but when you meet people, you can see there is a certain kind of connection that you develop because you are genuinely being free from envy. So therefore, this is a very powerful way of practicing journaling, praying for others. Okay? Hare Krishna. This is called blessing journal. There's one more called appreciation journal. This is where we want to address that point about whom to thank. You get good food, whether you thank Krishna or whether you thank... Yes?
I wanted to ask about this blessing journal. So I don't know if it happened with me or with others also. Even when I'm trying to bless people.
Actually, I use the word blessing to separate it from prayer journal. We are nobody to bless others. They're actually praying for others.
Yeah, even when I tried praying for others, I feel that I was somewhere a little bit of selfish.
Yeah.
That I thought of people who I only like.
Yeah.
So how do we fix that? Because I don't think people who I don't like in general, I have that bigger heart of.
That's okay. When we were with children in school, we were told by our teachers, maths exam, first solve the questions that are easy. Don't solve difficult questions, right? That's what our teachers tell us. Keep the difficult questions for the end. But when we come to Hare Krishna, we want to solve the difficult questions first. So I understand what you're saying. So my humble opinion is do things which are comfortable. That's why I told in the beginning. You can't thank Krishna for everything. Somebody told me, how do I thank Krishna for the abuse that I've gone through in life? You can't practice gratitude for everything. At least thank Krishna for the good things you've got, and one day you'll be able to thank and see Krishna's hand in everything. So why rack your brains on something which is difficult? Begin with the possible, what is possible, and then see the impossible happen. But I have seen once, because of this gratitude appreciation journal, one day I was shocked. I ended up writing a name of a person with whom I had a serious difference of opinion and serious misunderstanding. And one day actually I wrote one line of prayer for that person. And when I finished that, I was like, wow, how could I write a prayer for him? One line, like, Krishna, please let him be happy. ऐसे निकल गया वो line. दिल से निकला वो. So you can't artificially pray for those who have harmed us. And it's natural. I've seen many women say, Prabhu, I can only think of my children, my family. I can't pray for others. ठीक है यार, शुरू तो करो. कहीं से तो शुरू करो, थोड़ा तो शुरू करो. So yeah, it's tough. But slowly we'll begin. Is that okay? Yes. Yes.
I don't know how relevant it is, but how do we...
Mic is coming. Yes.
How do we not feel that guilt while, I don't know, when you pray, you have that thought that you're being selfish. How do you let go of that guilt? I know it's not relevant to only this.
Guilt for praying.
No, guilt for having that negative thought
About
being
others.
selfish, yeah. And then you're very hard on your own self.
Yeah. You can try this. You can write one page of a love letter to yourself. You can write your good qualities one day secretly. I know this sounds crazy. You may think, oh, I'll become proud, I'll become egoistic. No. If you have a healthy practice of gratitude, then self-love won't lead to pride. Many devotees feel inadequate, always cursing themselves, always feeling bad. And then, what happens is, I'm sorry to say, but we become emotionally addicted also. Just like people have liquor addiction, cigarette addiction, there are people with emotional addiction also. First time you criticize yourself, or first time you feel sad, first time you feel angry with someone, you are uncomfortable with a negative emotion. Guilt also. we are not comfortable. Every emotion, it releases some hormones. I'm not technical. I'm not from the field of neuroscience, but I've understood a little bit after reading a few books, and that there are some chemicals, hormones released, and it goes through the veins to your body when you have a negative emotion, and your body is uncomfortable with it. But then again you get angry, again you feel guilty after some days, again those hormones are released to your body. And after some time your body starts getting comfortable with that. Just like the first time somebody takes cigarette, they're not very comfortable. It's not that they enjoy it the very first time. Liquor, cigarettes, they're uncomfortable, but then eventually they become addicted to it, right? So many of us, for us, guilt, self-criticism, constantly berating ourselves, this begins initially, we're not happy about it, but then that becomes a familiar setting for the body. And we become addicted to that kind of emotion. And the time comes when your body will, send a signal to the brain saying that, start worrying. Send me some worry hormone. The brain says there is nothing to worry. Then the body says, no, create some excuse. I want it. I want that hormone. I want that chemical, because there's a feedback loop. The body sends, because the body is become comfortable with that. So that's how many of us, we are trapped in negative emotions.
The fight and flight mode.
Yes, we are in that fight and flight. Our amygdala is on a hyperdrive. The limbic system is going. Therefore, these exercises that we are doing will develop your prefrontal cortex, the frontal lobe. It becomes thicker, the brain muscles, the frontal lobe. So then you'll be able to make your discrimination stronger. Do the hard things which are right. You'll be able to do it. So right now we are just constantly overwhelmed with negativity, criticizing ourselves, then criticizing others, insecure. So therefore, to break all of this, we are creating this positive kind of exercises. This is not toxic positivity. We are not living in denial. We are also accepting through prayer journal, through free writing, we are also confronting our negativities, but we need to start liking ourselves. We need to create this positive emotions also. Otherwise, we are addicted to this negative loop. And then it keeps feeding on itself, and we are perpetually
We're
negative.
actually guilty for having the thought because we're not able to distinguish between the thought and ourselves.
Yeah, identity is merged with that. That's why, yeah. Okay, can we go ahead? Yes, madam.
In general, everybody wants happiness, joy, spiritual upliftment, but there is a specification is also required, right? Like someone is looking for a job or want to get married, or that blessing we have to write, or
Whatever. You can write for people who are suffering because of a war in Israel. You can write for general also people. You can write for specific some person. You can write for basically the idea is get out of
country also we can.
the whole idea is get out of your own head, your own space, from your own life. There is a reality beyond yourself. That is the whole idea. It can be for somebody's job, somebody's marriage, whatever.
We know somebody is looking for a job,
Yeah,
or somebody is having some
Yes.
finance better, so
Yes.
we write that,
Yes.
right? In the-
Krishna, if you so desire, please help him. Please help this person, like that. See again, the material solutions, how much we can really help, but we are just getting out of our own head, our own life. That is the whole idea. Sometimes people say, Prabhuji, ये artificial नहीं है. How can we pray for others? We are okay. Then you do what is natural. Like when I was a new devotee, I remember I was finding it very strange. We were taught in the Bhagavatam classes we have to be servant of servant. We have to pray for everybody. We have to be humble. And everybody was like, we don't want to compete. We want others to be successful and all of that. But we used to have monthly Bhagavad Gita exams, and secretly I used to desire to come first in those exams. And I used to memorize, and even in the night I used to be learning shlokas. Even when in the bathroom I would take the small chits to memorize verses. I didn't want to waste any time. At the end of the exam, I would get like 95, 96, and then Gaurang Prabhu would get 98, some other devotee would get 99. Oh, I missed out. So I was going through this cognitive dissonance. Externally, like we are servant of servant, Hari Bol Prabhu, Hare Krishna. And internally ambitious. First Ana exam, first Ana. Because that is the background we are coming from, academic background, college, studies. And here we are monks, sadhus, we are supposed to be always in the mood of Trinadapi, Sunichena, lower than a blade of grass. So this kind of was torturing me. So one day I went to my mentor and I told him that, oh, it's not artificial prayer. I am praying, I want everybody to be better than me, but I want to come first in the exam. So when I'm coming in front of Lord, how can we be natural in our prayers and at the same time do the right thing? He said, oh, then you should ask the Lord that you want to come first in the exam. I said, but that's not right. If you know, that's being honest. I said, that's being honest or that's being shameless? How can I want to come first in the exam? He said, no, you ask for what you want because that's where you are right now in your bhakti. Dhruva wanted a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather. So you pray for what you want, but you end your prayer session with one line. Krishna, I am a fool. I don't know what is good for me. Please give me the intelligence that when I come in front of you next time, I can pray for things that are good for me. But right now I want to come first in the exam. You see what is happening here? You are being honest. At the same time, you are aspiring for something higher. So many of us, when we are praying, we have to be honest also about where we are. But we can't be shameless. There's a difference between honesty and shamelessness. Honesty means to know where you are, but not remain where you are. Shameless is when you are, Prabhu, I'm very honest. I can't chant Hare Krishna, so I'm honest. That could be shamelessness. I know where I am, but I don't want to remain where I am. I want to move forward. That is honesty. So we can, as a devotee, we may find it artificial some things. No problem. Be natural. At the same time, we can aspire for something better. Okay? We'll go ahead with the appreciation journal. Yes.
How you can justify shameless and honesty is the two different points. You told me that honesty and shameless, right?
If I'm a party animal, I'm very honest with you. And maybe for some other reason I'm shameful to myself. So how I can justify myself honest and shameful?
I don't understand your question.
Honest, you said I cannot chant. But shameful, how you can justify shameful?
You can't justify shamelessness. You can't be shameless. You have to be honest. What is the difference between honesty and shamelessness?
That was the question.
That is what I told in the beginning. You didn't hear. I said honesty is to know where you are, but not remain where you are. Shamelessness is to know where you are and remain where you are. So we are not encouraging people to be shameless. We have to be honest when we come in front of Krishna. Okay? Can we go ahead? So appreciation journal is something interesting. Think of a person. This is not free writing. This is reflective writing. See, there is sometimes you have to just write non-stop with your pen. Sometimes you have to think and write. Like in speaking, some people they think and then they speak. Some people speak and then they think. So sometimes journaling. Initially we did free writing, just write. But now I'm saying thoda socho, thoda ruko. Think of a person you want to really, really appreciate or thank. Think of a person now. Take a few seconds. This person should be alive. You can't say, somebody who passed away. No, somebody who's alive, breathing around. It could be your neighbor, it could be your family member, it could be anyone. And it should not be your guru or Srila Prabhupada, because it's easy to glorify our gurus, somebody who is very exalted spiritually. It's more difficult to appreciate those who are not so advanced. Okay? Can you think of someone to appreciate? I'm sure there is at least one person, right? We can think good about. Okay. Now, write that person's name on your journal. Capital letter. All of you, please do it. Do you need some more time to think of a person? Or हो गया ना? एक व्यक्ति का तो नाम आपको आ गया होगा. You really appreciate that person. It could be anyone. Okay? Now you have written his name or her name. Write 3 qualities. Okay, listen to this. There are 2 things you have to do now. Write at least 3 qualities that characterize that person and some incident or some time where they displayed this quality. This will take you 5 to 7 minutes. Think of 3 qualities this person has and some incidents or some time in life where you saw or heard that this person has displayed these qualities. Thank you for doing this. Actually, there are 3 steps that we need to do. I am just giving you a simplified version. If you want to experience deep connection with the Lord, then we appreciate another person at 3 different levels. First, okay, before that, you've written about some person, you've written about his qualities and the story or example of that. Now imagine you share this with that person. How will that person feel? If somebody told you, if somebody sent you a WhatsApp message today evening saying that, I want to share, I was thinking about you today in the afternoon around 2:50 and I wrote something about you. I want to share this with you when I meet you next. How will you feel? Something very good I want to share with you. You feel excited. So now you have written all of you have written something good about somebody else. Just imagine you, after today's workshop, you go home and you tell them, I want to share something I wrote about you. And you show them what you wrote. How will they feel? They feel so good. And this is not flattery, but genuinely appreciating. And appreciation can be at 3 different levels. First level, generally when we appreciate people, we appreciate them for what they have done for us. Generally that's how we are. Like if I had to appreciate a friend, I know one friend of mine, I appreciate him a lot because when I was struggling, he came to my hometown, he spent time with me and my mother, he took care of my mother, he helped me take care of her. He did so much for me. So if I have to appreciate him, I can speak for hours on how he did so much for me. Which is natural because we are not impersonalists. We appreciate people for what they have done for us. Now we can take appreciation to the second level. We appreciate that person independent of our existence. Imagine you are not part of his life. How will you appreciate that person? Can you? Like for example, this person I appreciated because he did so much for me, my mother. If I had to appreciate him, without me being in the picture, this is what I would write. He is a wonderful person, he is a chartered accountant by profession, he is very intelligent, he takes care of his family very well, he got the best employee award every 7 or 8 times in his career, and he is very respectful to everyone. He is a great cook. Are you seeing what I am doing here? Is there anything about me here? Nothing. So this is the second level of appreciation, where first level of appreciation is where we appreciate somebody because of what that person has done for me. Second level of appreciation is when we can appreciate or see good in somebody without me being in the picture. This is how we spiritually evolve. When we see a reality beyond ourselves. Generally, we are unable to conceive of a reality beyond ourselves. That is why we don't make advancement in spiritual life. It's everything is about me. I am the center of the universe. मैं हूँ, मैं devotee हूँ, मेरे भी सब मेरे अच्छा हो रहा है, सब कुछ मेरे centered ही है. But when we come to the second level of appreciation, we actually start seeing the world as a beautiful place. We see others for who they are, independent of me. And third level of appreciation is when you see this person displaying so many beautiful qualities, and then you see those qualities being exhibited in the universe. You see those qualities in the Lord, or you see these qualities in some pure devotee of Krishna. You see divinity in them. Like this person I appreciated just now. First, because he helped me and my mother. Second, I appreciated him for who he is independent of me. Third round of appreciation, I would write about him as someone who is, because in the second round I didn't mention this. One of the things I really appreciate about him is he goes to Gaya every year. He performs Tarpan for his departed father, and he takes care of his mother very well. He cooks for his mother every Saturday, Sunday, and like that. So in the third round to see divinity, I would see him display the qualities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada dedicated his Krishna book for his father, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called as Matra Bhakta Shiromani, the greatest devotee of his mother. So this person is, in one sense, carrying the same qualities. So I'm seeing divinity in him. Do you understand what we are doing right now? One brahmachari was cooking breakfast every day in the temple. So in my first round of appreciation, I told him, wow, what upma and rasam you made today, यार मजा आ गया. मेरी मदर भी ऐसी बनाती थी. मैंने 3 बार खाया. बहुत मजा आ गया. Thank you. So he was happy to hear my appreciation because I was appreciating for the nice breakfast he cooked. But if you see in the first round of appreciation, that entire appreciation was because the experience I had, which is good, but I had to take it to the next level. And the next level was, I am not in the picture. अरे यार तुम कितना अच्छा है यार. You are a doctor by profession. You could be earning millions of rupees outside. But last 10 years you are in the brahmachari ashram, every day cooking breakfast and lunch, and cooking is a thankless job. When you cook well, nobody says anything, and when you don't cook, थोड़ा भी नमक ऊपर नीचे होगा तो कमेंट आता है. It's like a goalkeeper's job. गोल छोड़ा तो गाली पड़ता है. कितना मेहनत करता है यार तुम, and you are like, if you see now I am appreciating him, I am not in the picture. And you are so dedicated, you are always learning new recipes to make others happy. So when I was appreciating him at the second level, I could see he was actually connecting to me much deeper. Because I was now seeing his good qualities independent of what he has done for me. And then at the third level, I started talking to him about how, he reminds me of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami of Chaitanya Charitamrita, who was also a great cook. In the Madhya Leela, Kaviraj Goswami writes in great detail about the cooking done for the Govardhan Annakut ceremony that Madhavendra Puri performed, and all the different devotees were making chapatis, was putting ghee on the chapati, or many who cooked rice. So I was telling him how our great Vaishnavacharyas are great cooks. Srila Prabhupada said our movement is a kitchen religion. And then I was discussing how Lord Krishna is providing food for an ant in your room and also to the giant elephants in African jungles. How Krishna is providing food. So we are seeing divinity. We are seeing the larger picture of the Lord providing food for everyone and seeing him as an instrument in the Lord's beautiful compassion. So our appreciation for others can expand, can grow, and we can see divinity. I did this workshop for some of our leaders in our community, and women were sitting on the left side, men are on the right side. They were all leaders, and we made groups. So appreciate someone like that. So we did this 3 rounds, and then we asked for realizations. So one Mataji said something very interesting. She said, "Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this exercise. These 3 rounds has convinced me that now I can really appreciate my husband." The husband was sitting on the right side with the men. So everybody felt, "Abhi kya ho gaya?" So she said, "Prabhuji, because of this appreciation round, first round, I realized my husband is very good. He's helped me so many times. And there is a certain quality my husband has, which is he has this intuitive sense. What do you say? He has a certain, he comes to know certain things without, he's not able to explain it logically, but he knows certain things. Sixth sense, right, sorry. So she said how today because of this exercise of seeing divinity, I'm able to appreciate him better, because he had this peculiar habit. He would tell me sometimes, because she's also working, he's also working. So sometimes he would tell me, "Oh, this particular party, get together, social gathering, you should not go, because you will come back disappointed. Because you don't like that person and there is going to be negative energy." And he would tell me like that. And instead of appreciating him for his timely feedback, I would get angry with him. That you are sending inauspicious things you are saying before this party. And what he predicted, exactly that would happen. And I would come back from the party disappointed. And instead of thanking him for his insight, I would say, "Because you cursed me, I had a bad experience." But because today we did this appreciation round, today I'm able to see that he's actually very intelligent and very gifted. He has some ability. Because last 2 years, at least 7 or 8 times this has happened. So today, thank you Prabhuji for this exercise. I'm able to appreciate my husband. He has this quality. So then I said, okay, what about the divinity? You are also supposed to say divinity. You are supposed to say how this quality is revealed in the scriptures amongst pure devotees. So she said, this quality of my husband reminds me of quality of which character from Srimad Bhagavatam? Lord Shiva. Why? Lord Shiva had this, he told something to his wife, who? Sati. So in the third round, when she was discussing with her team, she had to think hard about how this quality of her husband is there in the universe or amongst divinity. She had to see divinity in her husband. So she said, Prabhuji, today, thanks to this exercise, like Lord Shiva would tell Sati, he told Sati, don't go for this, your father's yajna, and she went, and there was a big Daksha Kand that happened. So Lord Shiva had this foresight. So today I am able to see my husband is a representative of Lord Shiva. He is like Lord Shiva. So everybody laughed like you are laughing. So Prabhuji was sitting on the right side. He was like astonished to hear his wife appreciate him in a public assembly like this. And he was so overwhelmed. He took the microphone. He said, I want to say something. He said, I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that my wife is now going to see me as Lord Shiva. But I want to announce in this assembly that I've always seen my wife as always as Durga only. She has been Shiva's consort. So everybody laughed. So the point is, appreciation can be we can take our appreciation to the higher levels. Once I did this in one community, at the end of third round, it was so amazing. One person, he wanted to say something, he raised his hand, immediately withdrew his hand. And others were all sharing. I noticed this confusion. No. Then I said, I'll not embarrass him. So after the program during Prasadam, I walked up to him. He said, Prabhu, thank you for this appreciation workshop. These 3 levels of appreciation is very deep. Because my partner in the exercise, he started appreciating a person who I hate. We are all in the same community. There is one person I don't like at all. But nobody knows that I don't like him. So my partner started speaking about that person. कि वो कितना अच्छा आदमी है, उसने मेरे को इतना help किया. So at the end of the first round, I told myself, ठीक है यार, वो आदमी ने इसको help किया. He must have had a good experience, but that fellow is crooked only. But the second round was a revelation because this person started appreciating him, how this person whom I hate, he actually helped so many people. Then I realized, बाप रे तो अच्छा आदमी है. But नहीं अच्छा नहीं हो सकता. Then that is okay. But the most difficult was the third round, where we had to together see divinity in that person. And then at the end of it, I realized that, okay, I still don't like him, but dislike has gone down a little bit. Because we are fixated, our mind is fixated on what we think is right. We refuse to believe that there could be another opinion, there could be another way of looking at people. When we dislike someone, we are convinced that I am right. So appreciation journal is extremely important. We use WhatsApp, Instagram, social media for constantly criticizing. You go on YouTube, you go on social media, always criticizing others. But why not start sending positive messages, appreciating, not flattery, genuinely. So this is one thing, and appreciation and gratitude is not something that will always make you happy, but it will keep you. See, I don't know how to explain this. There are emotions of happiness is different than emotions of gratitude and appreciation. Happiness, generally in this world, happiness is seen as something that is stimulating or something that gives you feeling good. Gratitude and appreciation is much deeper than happiness. I know somebody who is not happy, but who is very grateful. Like I have one friend of mine. He is very close to me. His sister got stuck in some very complicated thing in Europe, in one place. Her husband cheated on her, and she was left with 3 small children, and he was a lawyer also, so he knew how to cover his tracks. So he did something very nasty, and she was left in the lurch. Now, she had 3 small children, and this her brother, who is very close to me, called me. Then I knew somebody in that city where this lady was staying. I called up this devotee, and he immediately, with his family, rushed to her help. And then they connected her to somebody. So the whole thing was, it took us around, I think, 2 or 3 weeks of constantly we were in touch with each other. Finally, 7 or 8 devotee families in London and near that city, they all came together. They helped her. Now she's settled. Her life is peaceful. But that entire period, I remember feeling extremely angry. Even now, when I think of that man, because I knew that person, that man who married this my friend's sister. So itna gussa bhi hai. Anger. It's not a happy thing. At the same time, there was a lot of gratitude and appreciation for the whole devotee community, how everybody rallied to support her, help her, although they were not connected to her. They were not related to her. But everybody wanted to be part of, it's like a family, right? We're one family. So that entire thing filled my heart with so much, the existence of 2 emotions at the same time. One of the students who come from my class, he said, lost his father, extreme pain, sadness. Also, because there's a gratitude practice, he's feeling rich, connected to his father during the entire 12 days period of mourning. So life is like that. We can't be happiness seekers. We want to have a deeper connection with ourselves and God. So gratitude and appreciation takes us to that level. It's not simply we're not doing journaling workshop just to feel happy. Okay, so these are the 2 things we have done after lunch. What is the one? Blessing journal and then appreciation journal. Now we are going to do the most important, which I kept for last, which is called wisdom journal. This is extremely important. This is the most important because without accessing higher intelligence, our journaling can lead to a disaster. Because even Hitler used to write journals. So Stephen Covey in his 7 Habits says that journaling without a conscience can make you Hitler. Because mind is very tricky, mind is very nasty. So what do we have to control our mind? We have intelligence, right? Intelligence is our strength. But unfortunately, intelligence we should ideally know better. Our intelligence has become a servant of the mind. Intelligence is simply a lawyer for the mind. Intelligence simply justifies what the mind likes or doesn't like. Ideally, intelligence should regulate the mind. But our intelligence, unfortunately, is often contaminated. So therefore, what do we do now? We need to access higher intelligence. We need to access scriptural intelligence or wisdom from the sages, from another realm. When that intelligence enters our system, then that becomes our true knowledge, that gives us direction. Then we can regulate our mind and we can be balanced. We can be effective, productive, contribute to this world. Therefore, wisdom journal is extremely powerful. I'll just share with you. I'll just show you my notebook. This is my wisdom journal. So I have some 20-25 notebooks like this. So every day I write. So like we hear a class. Today morning there was a Bhagavatam class in temple. So every day we are half an hour, 1 hour class. So after the class, I come back to my room. I open my notebook. It doesn't take long. It takes 10 minutes. Then I write 1 page essay on what I learned from this class. Just 1 page. Sometimes 2 it goes long. So this is like, different color pens I use. So like that I write. So yesterday afternoon, our Guru Maharaj gave a class for the brahmacharis. He gave a 2-hour class. So I was present in the class. After the class, I went to my room and this is what I wrote. This is 1 page from here till here. So this 1 page what I wrote is mine. The class what Maharaj spoke, what he spoke was his, right? He spoke that. I heard it. But ho gaya. But now when I write it down, when you write what you hear, then that what you have written becomes yours. You read something from Prabhupada books, you read some spiritual knowledge, you hear something. You hear Jai Shetty, Gaur Gopal Prabhu, all these motivational speakers. You hear our Amarendra Prabhu, or who is that? Huh? Amok Leela Prabhu, I was trying to recall his name. Amok Leela is so good. You hear all this, ठीक है आपका entertainment हो गया, आपको nourishment हो गया, सब अच्छा हो गया, but then you will lose it. Take your notebook, computer, smartphone, किधर तो एक उसमें से एक write. Prabhupada said today morning what 2 lines, 4 lines, write something about it, then that becomes yours. And like when I see this notebook, when I see some of the things I've written, I'm like, wow, ये बोला महाराज ने, ये क्या, ये इतना अच्छा है, अच्छा ऐसा भी है, ये भी है. And then it's amazing how you discover and you become attentive in your hearing also. And this wisdom is which shapes our intelligence, makes our intelligence strong, helps us understand what is right, what is wrong, take the right decisions, and navigate through life's challenges very strongly. So, I know some of you think, but yes, of wisdom, scriptures, what has that got to do with my present day problems? I've got job problem, I've got relationship problem. Can Bhagavatam help me in that? Yes, it can. How? Well, Bhagavatam has solutions for your present day problems. But how does it help? It's very interesting. One of my cousins is in the Indian Military Academy. He was in the Indian Military Academy. So he said something interesting. He said they have a 3-year course. They study all the battles in history. Battle of Somme, Operation Barbarossa, Napoleon's war battles, American Civil War, Kargil War. They study all the battles, wars, and what strategies was used. And they have a 3-year exam where they write उसमें क्या, what are the drawbacks or what are the mistakes they made, what lessons they learned. So he said we learn all these battles. And then he said something after that. He said when in 2008 when the terrorists attacked Taj Hotel, Oberoi, Mumbai was attacked by terrorists. 2008 November. So he said the NSG commandos entered the Taj Mahal Hotel to fight the terrorists. And they were all the commandos who entered to fight the terrorists. They had done this course. They have studied all the wars. But when they entered the battlefield, they didn't go thinking, अच्छा अभी कौन सा textbook में से कौन सा साला case study इधर use करना है. No, they didn't think like that. The collective study over the 3 years or whatever they have studied over the past so many years, it had influenced their conscience, their intuition, their intelligence. It shaped their understanding by which they could discover a unique solution in that situation based on all that they have learned. And what they applied there will now become a part of the next history. Yes, it will help the next students. It will be part of the syllabus. Similarly, when we read Ambarish Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Gajendra pastime from the Bhagavatam sincerely, from the scriptures, attentively, it shapes our intelligence, it guides us, it makes us strong. And then if you can write it down, what we've learned, then we actually make it deeper, we internalize it, and then when you are navigating through your challenges, you will discover your solutions. You will discover your solutions for your problems. So, now, very important. Now we'll do some scriptural journal. Have you heard any class from any devotee in the recent times? कुछ नहीं सुना तो आज कम से कम सुबह से आप बकबक सुन रहे एक आदमी का. Right? So, in the next 5 minutes, whatever wisdom you have heard, either from secular Jai Shetty or deeply spiritual like Radhanath Swami, Srila Prabhupada, anything that you have heard, any wisdom that you have heard, just write it down, whatever comes to your memory. Wait, before you write, I'll tell you a few things you could do. Write what you recall, just from memory recall, whatever you remember, you just start writing. And as you are writing from recall, enter the world of relish. What did you like? See, there is something you remember, then something that you relish also. क्या आपको अच्छा लगा वो लिखो. And as you write about what you relished from that, you can also write what you could resolve or what you could do in your life better. What can make your life better from what you heard. I'll repeat. Remember, relish and resolve. what you liked in the class, what you learnt in the class, what you can live by, what you can add, what have you learnt or heard in so many classes that you heard for so long. How can it enhance your life? See, there is something called as Shravanam. Shravanam means hearing. But hearing is first step. What is more important than hearing is what have you learned. That is Mananam. And something more deeper than Mananam is Nididhyasanam, which means hearing is first step, learning is second, then third is applying. What can you apply in your life based on what you've heard? So all of you have from childhood definitely heard spiritual or some wisdom from somebody else, right? इतना कुछ तो सुना है बचपन से. तो अगले 5 मिनट में, just 5 minutes you take, write down whatever wisdom you have heard, learned, or you can apply in your life. Can we do this?
Yes.
Is it confusing? No. Your time starts now. This is called Wisdom Journal. Hare Krishna. So we have done 7 types of journaling. First is free writing, awareness journal, then prayer, gratitude journal, blessing journal, appreciation, wisdom. 7 हो गया ना? So now there are a few types of journaling. I'll just briefly mention what it is, and later on if you like it you can try it home. One is called problem solving journal. We all have problems in life and we hear how Krishna will solve those problems. But we also want to solve our problem. We want to do something about it. So I'm sure each one of us has at least one problem or one complication in our life or something about us which we don't like or we wish it didn't happen. Right? So so I also had something like that. I had a fallout with one devotee and a very bitter incident anyway. So that's going to humble me for the rest of my life. Whenever I remember that, I feel grounded. क्या यार लाइफ में गड़बड़ हो गया, गलती हो गया, उसके बाद झगड़ा हो गया, whatever it is. So that keeps me humble. So what I do now, but then it sometimes can debilitate your conscience. It can make you weak. Our problems can put us into a quicksand. So how do we deal with this kind of? So I've got what is called as problem solving journal. So first you write about, not today because it can get intense. So do it in a private space. Just write about this problem objectively, what it is. Write in your own words. That is the first step. It will take, I think, 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. What the problem was, write about it as objectively as possible. After you have done that, the second step is very, very interesting. Imagine your best friend has gone through this problem, not you. Who has gone through what? You have gone through it, but you are now imagining that it's not you who has gone through it, but your best friend has gone through that. Now you have to counsel her or him. What will you write? See, why I'm saying this? Because it's generally easy for us to help others than ourselves. Free advice देने में मजा आता है. Yeah, switching role. Because it's easy to help others than ourselves. So try this. Think your friend has gone through this problem. So I did this with my own situation. Then you know what landed up writing? About how good, at the end of it I felt that मैं अच्छा हूँ, मैं बुरा नहीं हूँ इतना. It was like very thoda reassured because we need some love. We need somebody to tell us it's okay. होता है, गलतियाँ होती है. You make mistakes, but you are not a mistake. So this is the best way to give yourself some pat on the back. So what is the first step? Write about the problem objectively. Second step, and then write a letter to your friend who has gone through this problem. You will see कितना positive निकलेगा उसमें. And then the third step is the best. After these 2 steps are done, you are ready for the third, which is most. Right now, if you hear it, you may find it very difficult. But if you've done the first 2 steps, then third is very easy. And the third is how this incident is the best thing that has happened in your life. This incident, this problem that you've gone through, how is this problem the best thing that has happened in your life? Or what are the benefits, or what are the things good thing that has happened in your life because of this. So this you can do. This is called problem solving journal. Then there is decision making journal. Anybody stuck with the confusions about what decision to take? Yes? Dharam Sankat, right? Like I was in US recently. Somebody said, Prabhuji, my wife, my parents can't come to America, but they want me to come back to India. I said, okay, go. No, but my wife and children want me to be in America. What should I do? I said, that is Dharma Sankat. Lord Ram also went through that. Everybody goes through Dharma Sankat. Right? What to do? It's easy to make a choice between bad and good. But when you have two good choices, kya karna hai? Like one person said, Prabhuji, my daughter is very sick now. And she is 7 or 8 years old, I think. So if I spend 4 or 5 hours with her every day, because there is something to do with some emotional thing also. So I need to spend time with her 5 to 6 hours, then she'll be alright. But I am right now in the verge of my career that if I give 6-7 hours extra every day, then after 4 years I don't have to work at all. The rest of my life I can give to my family. You see what I'm trying to say is, life mein na, there's no easy black and white straight solutions. So we all go through that. If somebody says, no Prabhuji, that is life mein aisa kuch dharam sankat nahi hai hamare life mein, that means you have not lived long enough. Continue living. Continue living, you will go through decision making. You will need decision making journal also. So decision making journal is you write the problem, write all the different options you have, and then the most important step is imagine you have 60 seconds and I, Vraja Bihari Das, am sitting in front of you with a gun on my hand. And I am telling you, 60 seconds मैं देता हूँ, लिखो solution. What is the solution for your confusion? 60 seconds में answer नहीं लिखा तो गोली चला दूंगा. Then you start writing. And trust me, you'll get the solution. Many times we know the solution, but we are just weak. Hridaya Daurbalyam. We know the right thing to do, but weakness of the heart. So we need a kick on the butt. But एक लात थोड़ा एक kick चाहिए. तो कभी-कभी we are not able to take the decision simply because we are just procrastination is one. It also could be like we are stuck somewhere. Doubt, we are stuck. Sometimes we know intuitively, but we are not able to. We don't have the confidence or something. So, but when there is a pressure, कि अबे 1 minute में decide करो, मर जाएगा. So when push comes to shove, we know ये करना है तो कर देंगे. Sometimes people say, probably mistake होगा तो. अरे life में mistakes तो बहुत होता है यार. See, we are scared of. See, if you want to be perfect, everything should be. ऐसा नहीं होता है. थोड़ा बहुत गलतियाँ होंगी life में, सीखेंगे, ठोकरें खाएंगे. As I said in the beginning, some time ago, you are not a mistake. You may make mistakes. You are not a mistake. So that is one we could try. Also, obligation to love journal is when there are a lot of obligations. प्रभु जी ये भी करना है, घर का भी काम है, वो भी है, बच्चों का भी है, मेरा जपा भी बाकी है, मेरे को बाकुदम पढ़ना है, भक्ति शास्त्री पढ़ाई करना है, मंदिर जाना है, इतना सब कुछ है. What should I do? So many obligations, but I am not able to. Obligation, and there is something we love to do. But we all have so many obligations and duties in life. We don't always get to do what we love to do, right? Life is not so, everybody is not having, we don't have the life the way we want. So then what you do is write all your obligations. What are the obligations you have in life? You feel the duties you have, because of which you are not happy or whatever. So many things. Then you write down 1 or 2 or 3 things which will make the whole difference. What is it, that one thing out of this, that if you do, everything else will be taken care of? That is the most important. कुछ तो होगा उसमें जो most important होगा. You zero it on that and then you focus on that. If you spend time on that, everything will be taken care of. So basically what I'm saying is all this is a detail. Just putting your thoughts on paper will give you clarity. It may not be exactly the way I am saying it. As I told you, this is what I do, but you could try your own ways. Just writing it. So, and the most fascinating discovery. If you want to see how journaling actually does magic, you can do 1 month experiment every day for 10 minutes, and at the end of 1 month you will say, wow. This is called question answer journal. I'm going to share with you one page. Question answer journal is, I have this sheet paper with me, which I can't. This has 15 questions. So this is called question answer journal. I'll just share some of the questions, not all. Question 1. No, I can't share. Second question. Why am I a control freak and how can I overcome this disease? Third, which mode governs my life and how can I come to sattva? Why is the smartphone dangerous for me and how can I regulate its use? Why should I focus more on sadhana now vis-a-vis seva and how can I do it? What is my vision in life and what are my values? I'm giving you sample questions. You can have your own set of questions. What is my relationship with my brother and my mother and what is the journey forward? What principles I need to follow? What is wrong with me and what is just perfect? Whom do I appreciate the most and why? What are the gifts of Krishna that I am most grateful for and why? What are my biggest fears and how can I overcome them? Whose approval and blessings I need the most and what can I do to get them? What is my relationship with Krishna and how can I improve it? What is my home state and what prevents me from living there? I'm just giving a sample of 15 questions that are important for me. So you can one day go to a park or somewhere, sit alone, write down 10, 15, 20 questions that really are important for you, for which you need answers. All of us need answers for something, right? 15, 20, 10 questions तो आप लिखो, हो गया? Then now start this amazing journey. Pick up your journal in the morning, first day, day 1. Open your question sheet, take the first question, start free writing the answer. I'll repeat, what? Free writing, you know what is free writing? And just start writing the answer to the first question only. And when the alarm goes off, after say 15 minutes alarm, 10 minute alarm lagao. You begin the free writing with the answer to the question and then write whatever comes to your heart. After the end of 10 minutes when the alarm goes off, stop. Close the journal, go back to your work, whatever you have to do, go to office, cooking, khana, jo bhi karna karo, 10 minutes aapne diya. The next time when you come for journal, which could be the next day morning or after today, I don't know how frequently you write, whatever. So I write question answer journal once in 3 days or once in 4 days. I don't write every day. But whenever I come next time to my question answer journal, I take up which question? Question 2. I start the alarm and I start writing an answer to that question. After the alarm goes off, I stop. Then I carry on with my activities. And after a few days when I come back, question 3. So one day what happens? All the 15 questions are answered. Then the second round begins. After 2 days, again I come, I start with the first question. I put the alarm, I write the answer. And when the alarm goes up, I stop. And then comes the discovery. Amazing discovery. I read the answer that I wrote. And I compare it with the answer I wrote 2 months ago for the same question. And I'm amazed to find a transformation. Sometimes the answers are same for some questions. But some answers, you'll be amazed by what you discover, a difference. You'll see an evolution. You'll see a growth. You'll see how journaling over the last 2 months has changed your consciousness, has helped you see life from a broader perspective, has helped you see more beauty. It has helped you see Krishna's hand in your life. So like that, at the end of 3 or 4 rounds, you will have much more clarity on many issues in your life. And some issues where there is ambivalence and lack of clarity, you'll be able to be peaceful with it. Many of us, we are disturbed because we don't have control. We are unable to let go. We think everything should be perfect, everything should be the way I want. ऐसा नहीं होता. वो release जो है, release मतलब surrender, accepting Krishna, I am yours. I can't solve this. तो वो जो एक्सेप्टेंस वाला जो फेज है वो भी आता है. So through journaling I learned that some problems that cannot be solved are not problems to be solved. They are truth to be accepted. But we keep them as problems, we suffer. So that is question answer journal. This is a beautiful journey. And the last one more thing I have is commitment and report journal. You make a commitment to Krishna, right? Say Krishna, the next 1 week, I'm going to come to temple next. I'm going to temple on say Sunday. So I have 5 days now, Krishna. So before I go to temple on Sunday, I'm going to chant 25 rounds or whatever. Some commitment you make to Krishna. And then, what do you do after you make a commitment? You follow that commitment. You do what you committed. And then after a few days, come back to the journal and report what you committed. What happened? Did you do it? You couldn't do it. Why you couldn't do it? So commitment and report journal makes our relationship with God very personal. Many times we make a commitment, but when we are unable to follow it, we avoid coming back and reporting. Because we are afraid of being judged. In this world, if you commit to someone something and you don't do it, you avoid that person because you know that person will judge you. Unfortunately, we think Krishna is also like that. He will judge me. So we avoid coming back to Krishna. But you don't realize how coming back to Krishna is such a beautiful experience. Even if you fail in your commitment, but when you come back to Krishna, that's when transformation happens. Because coming back and giving a report to Krishna makes our relationship with Krishna very personal. So commitment and report journal is a beautiful way of making bhakti a very personal process. So these are some of the things. This is the menu card I had to offer you. Now I have some 20 minutes. We can have some question answers or discussions based on what we have discussed today.
Prabhuji, you were going to discuss some do's and don'ts.
Oh yeah. Prerequisites was Sankirtan. Sankirtan is coming together, being with devotees. I think I already mentioned that actually. One was not being socially isolated. And third is Shastra, wisdom. Not trusting our own mind and intelligence. Shastra, Sankirtan, or associating with other people. And Sattva. Sattva also I mentioned. Sattva is leading life in the mode of goodness. Basically, you can't be always in the mode of Rajoguna, passion, and also thinking that journaling will solve all problems. One has to have a balanced life. So this is the way we practice. These are the prerequisites. Otherwise, we can be in our own world, mental world. I don't need the क्या हो? मुझे किसी की ज़रूरत नहीं. ये अहम छोड़िए. सबको मेरी ज़रूरत है. ये वहम छोड़िए. So we have this arrogance that I don't need anyone. I journal, I chant, I am in my own world. No, we are fallible, we are vulnerable, we need other people. So we are social animals, right? So this is not a substitute for avoiding human interactions. Because many problems, persistent problems, need human intervention. You need another human being to talk to and reflect back, connect. So human connection cannot be avoided or cannot be ignored because you have a journal. But there are challenges, I'll come back to you. There are challenges in human relationships, therefore journaling helps. Because human beings are fallible, human beings cannot always solve your problems. But you can't say, I'll go to the other extreme now. I don't need humans, I don't need devotees, I'm all good. That's not that extreme. Hare Krishna. Yes, I'll take question at the back.
Hare Krishna. We had two questions. One is when I generally write, I tend to judge what I write because we don't write so frequently. So whatever I write, I try to get back and read it, and and then judge why I wrote in this way, not that way. So like it's a habit. But then whenever all the exercises, I tend to be cautious of what I'm writing. So even free writing, I'm like when I write, I tend to again read it back and judge.
Okay.
So what to do, project?
Don't judge yourself. Because then you'll be harsh on yourself. See, I'll tell you, if you persist, if you write, you can write about how your mind is judging you. It's not you. See, the Panchakosha study is very important. See, we have these 5 layers covering the soul. And these 5 layers, we need to understand we are none of these 5. Taittiriya Upanishad explains this. Actually, spiritual life is about separating ourselves from these 5 identities that we have imposed on ourselves. So your struggle right now is also because of that, because of our identity. At the outermost layer is the Annamaya Kosha, this body. So Annamaya Kosha is the skin, the flesh, the bones. So most people in this world, they identify themselves with this body. Right? I am sick, people say. You are not sick. You are Satchidananda, soul, blissful. Your body is sick. But we don't say my body is sick. I am sick. Because I identify myself with my body so much. Some of us, no, I am not the body. We may understand that also, but there's a second layer after the body. That is the life air. Inside the body there is pranamaya. It is the life air which makes the blood supply go on, the oxygen is going on inside. Your hunger, thirst, all that is activated because of the life air inside. So many of us, when you sometimes you say this, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm tired. You are not tired, you are pure spirit soul, always blissful. Your pranamaya kosha is disturbed. But we have identified with our prana, which is subtle. So we think, I am sick, or I am tired, I am hungry. Then there is a third layer, even subtler, that is manomaya kosha. Manomaya is mind, needs, feelings. Most educated people who are not spiritual, who are intelligent, cultured people, they identify themselves with this kosha, personality. But you are not, sometimes people say, I am very sad, I am very angry. You are not sad, your mind is sad. Your mind is angry. Some people, they identify, then they go even deeper. Vijnanamaya kosha, intelligence sheath. So this is where you are stuck. Intelligence sheath is, your analytical ability, intelligence. Many people identify themselves with their intelligence. So when your intelligence lacks information, because of which you can't take a division, you say that I am confused. No, you are not confused. Your intelligence is confused. And you are not your intelligence. So we are not the Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and then there is Anandamaya Kosha. Anyway, I am getting too much technical into this, but we are none of these 5 koshas. And sometimes people think, oh, अच्छा प्रभु जी ये अन्नमय नहीं प्राणमय अंदर सोल है तो सोल किधर है दिख नहीं रहा है. So these Upanishad books are not biology books that teach you how to discover the soul. They are teaching us about identity. We have identified ourselves with our mind, with our intelligence, with our body, with our life force, with our happiness. So the scriptures teach us how to disidentify. So you need to understand you are not your intelligence. Don't be too harsh on yourself. ठीक है यार, आप लिखा आपने, क्योंकि you want control, you want to figure out, you want to be. So you need to understand, I'm not this intelligence. I'm okay who I am. I'm peaceful. I belong to Krishna. And many of us are guilty of this. We seek our worth through our work. We seek our worth through what we have done. And this is disastrous. You are worthy not because of what you do. You are worthy because of who you belong to. You belong to Krishna. You belong to God, and that's why you are worthy. That's why you are wonderful. That's why you are lovable. But no, from childhood we have been brainwashed to think that you are worthy if you do something, if you achieve something. So that is where you are coming from. I'm not judging you, I'm just giving you food for thought. That you are seeking worth from doing some things, getting some clarity. That is not your worth. When you seek your worth from who you belong to, your life would be sublime. So journaling then will not be a pressure, a stress नहीं होगा. Journaling will be a medium to connect with Krishna. ठीक है? Yes.
Just one more.
One more question. Can I come back to a little later? I'll take somebody else's question who has not asked so far. Yes. I saw your hand also.
Requesting your insight on this term Ho'oponopono.
Huh?
Ho'oponopono.
What is Ho'oponopono?
I'm sorry, please forgive
I'm
me.
sorry,
Thank
please
you, I love
forgive me.
you.
I love you.
That 4 lines are there, na?
वापस बोलो. I am sorry.
I am
Most of
sorry,
the healer-
please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. Thank you, universe. Please forgive me.
So what do you want me to say on that?
This is basically, initially we are asking for forgiveness, and so I'm sorry, please forgive me.
So you want me to say what?
Requesting your insights on the term Ho'oponopono.
Oh, I am sorry, Krishna. I love you, Krishna. Please forgive me, Krishna. Yeah. So we can do that. Kunti Maharani's prayers, they teach us 4 things. If you see Bhagavatam has 4, all prayers have 4 features. All prayers you will find there is glorification of God, there is gratitude, and there is repentance for the mistakes they do, there is begging forgiveness, and there is a request, an expression of love. 5 things. So I think Gajendra's prayers, Kunti's prayers are also like that. So I have nothing, I don't know, I mean I've never heard this term before. But yeah, you could, I have no issues with that.
Social media this is having on a large scale.
अच्छा, सोशल मीडिया में मैं थोड़ा नहीं हूँ.
Yeah.
अच्छा. I'm there, sorry, I'm there. Yeah.
No, there are research studies that have been done. They've done it on prisoners.
Yeah.
And they've
It helps, of course, affirmations help a lot. I myself practice affirmations. I have a whole page on affirmations. उसको मैं रोज सुबह देखता हूँ. 10 affirmations है. I have to see it before I begin my day. It's my daily priming time. This is my one page. I have to read this every day. Oops, sorry. So yeah, I agree with you on affirmations, making positive. I now come back to awareness and Krishna. I now seek shelter. I now connect and contribute. This is one affirmation. Second, I now make healthy choices in eating, exercise, and sleeping. I now happily follow the NDS. I now sharpen my mind by learning, memorizing, reading, and creating content and writing books for preaching Krishna consciousness. I now so affirmations in the present tense is important. So I think we're all ultimately wisdom is all. It's not one person's monopoly. Yeah, is that okay, Prabhu? Have I answered your question? Yes, Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, this query is about appreciation.
Yeah.
We are told we are supposed to think of a person, right qualities, incidences, independent of our existence, and divine, and link it to divine qualities. Prabhuji, just in case if we think of a person whom we are not on talking terms with, and seriously trying to look out for him point for appreciation, then how is it possible?
Don't think of him. Think of somebody you are on talking terms. डिफिकल्ट चीज क्यों करना चाहते हो यार? इजी चीज करो ना. अच्छा चीज जो जमता है वो करो ना. Life already complicated है ना. Is life easy? Tell me, is life easy? If life was very easy, then I would have given you a tough question.
But we are trying to make it easy.
Yeah, so you begin with what is possible. Start appreciating people whom you can talk to, whom you are connected to. If you're not on talking terms with someone and you're finding it difficult to appreciate that person, then don't beat yourself. Begin with, if we appreciate people whom we love, then we'll learn how to appreciate people whom we don't like. You know? First be grateful for the gifts you have got, then you will be grateful for the suffering you have gone through. We want to, people say, how can I practice gratitude to those people who have hurt me? अरे फर्स्ट यू प्रैक्टिस ग्रैटिट्यूड टू दोज पीपल हु लव यू, है ना? See, we devotees, we just want to do the tough things first. Life already tough है यार. Who? I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you. मेरे पास आए हो आप. नहीं, उनको जाके बोलो कि ब्रजबेरी प्रभु ने ऐसा बोला है. मैं बोलता अपने आप से प्यार करो थोड़ा. Already life में enough suffering है. Anybody here with less suffering? That you want to come for a seminar and learn how to suffer more? अरे जिंदगी को थोड़ा आसान बनाओ ना.
Prabhuji, there was a quote which was saying, "Bring flowers to me now. Don't bring it at my graveyard."
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
Something was this much more.
Beautiful. It's tough. Life is tough. So let us begin with what is possible. See, I'll tell you what is the advantage of journaling. Before I take your question, I see your hand. See, I'll tell you what happens. Psychologically, I'll tell you what happens. We are shifting towards two extremes. Either we are narcissistic or we are depressed. You know what is narcissistic? I, me. So it's all about me. I am greatest. I am best. एक ऐसा extreme है. दूसरा है I am bad. I am miserable. मेरा जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं होगा. मेरी जिंदगी तो दुख से भरा हुआ है. ऐसा सब, you know, depressed, depression and narcissistic. So when you start writing journal, especially prayer, gratitude, all this positive journal, what happens? If you are narcissistic, na, I am the greatest, I am the best, then journaling practice will shift you from that extreme. Slowly it will help you come on the center. And if you are a depressed person, always giving yourself gali, then journaling will help you see that there are other people who are responsible for your suffering. You are not responsible for your suffering. So you will come out of that, you know, I am bad, I am so miserable. आप समझ रहे हो ना मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? दो एक्सट्रीम में हम लोग जाते हैं. Journaling makes you see, it's like this. There are some people who are left brain, some people are right brain. Some people are logical, some people are emotional. You agree? Yes. So those who are logical brain people, when they start writing journal, their emotional side grows. And those are emotional people, or those who can give broader perspective, right brain people, poetic. They can talk about abstract concepts, right brain people. When they start writing journal regularly, their logical side grows. Like I'm a right brain person, but by journaling regularly, I got system, structure, you know, I could make proper. So one of the leaders in the ashram, he was shocked. I organized 2 high profile events in my hometown where my Guru Maharaj came for lunch, and I called some of the senior most devotees. But it was such a smooth affair, and the arrangement, pickup, drop, everything was done smoothly. And at the end of it, this very senior leader, he came and told me, "Brajberi, tum kaise kiya yaar? Kaise kar sakte?" Because he knows me from my childhood of my bhakti. He knows I am a right brain person, and you tell me tum vague bolta hai, abstract bolta hai. That is true. I can spend hours talking to you about abstract things. Like John Stuart Mill's quote. Recently I read it, and for 1 hour I was reflecting on it. He says, "It is better to be a dissatisfied human being than a satisfied pig. Better to be unsuccessful Socrates than a successful fool." मेरे को इतना अच्छा लगा, मैं इसको बार बार पढ़ रहा हूँ. इसके ऊपर घंटों हम लोग गप्पे मार सकते हैं. आप बोलेंगे क्या टाइम पास कर रहे हैं आप, कुछ प्रैक्टिकल बताओ. So some people like me, I like this abstract thing, and this Prabhuji is very logical, system-oriented person. So he was shocked when I organized a flawless event, एकदम पूरा smoothly हो गया. And he was like, "तुम मैनेजर भी है?" He was shocked. I said, "मैं नहीं हूँ प्रभु, journaling बनाता है." वो journaling से मेरा वो system, I understood how to organize my life. Now this kind of 8 types of journaling, you will not find this on the internet. इंटरनेट में आपको journaling के ऊपर बहुत कुछ मिलेगा. But what I'm sharing today is my stuff. तो ये कैसे डेवलप हुआ? बिकॉज ऑफ माई जर्नलिंग. सो आई एम अ राइट ब्रेन पर्सन, आई बिकेम लेफ्ट ब्रेन. इफ यू आर लेफ्ट ब्रेन, यू राइट जर्नल्स, योर एम्पैथेटिक साइड विल ग्रो, यू विल बी मोर सेंसिटिव टू अदर्स, यू विल बी एबल टू. सो जर्नलिंग एज अ अमेजिंग वे ऑफ बैलेंसिंग लाइफ. आपके लाइफ को ना, आपका राइट ब्रेन है तो आपका लेफ्ट ब्रेन को डेवलप करेगा, आपका लेफ्ट ब्रेन है तो राइट ब्रेन को भी डेवलप करेगा. बैलेंस लाता है. तो अभी हम, जैसे आपने बोला, अनुराधा माता जी ने बोला कि क्या कि हमको सिखाया गया है कि डिफिकल्ट चीज़ करो, सफ़र करो, मिजरेबल रहो. नहीं, हमको सिखाया जाता है कृष्ण से प्यार करो. पर क्योंकि हम ना, हमारा प्रॉब्लम क्या, दिस डोंट, वी नॉट लाइक टू हियर दिस, आवर प्रॉब्लम इज वी हेट आवरसेल्व्स and we are always judging ourselves and others, and because of that we think Krishna is also like that, so we all are suffering because of that. अब डिफिकल्ट चीज़ ही करते हैं भक्ति में आके. अरे कुछ अच्छा इजी पॉसिबल है वो, उससे शुरू करो यार. ठीक है, अब जिनको अप्रिशिएट नहीं कर सकते, धीरे धीरे उनको भी करेंगे. एक पूरा फॉरगिवनेस का सेमिनार है हमारा, फॉरगिवनेस के स्टेप्स हैं. फॉरगिवनेस इज इंटेंस सेमिनार, इंटेंस वर्कशॉप, because forgiveness is needed. Without forgiveness we can't progress. But forgiveness is not an excuse for being you're weak and then you say I forgive the person. उससे forgiveness नहीं होगा. Forgiveness is very, it's tough, it requires hard work. ठीक है ना, सब करेंगे हम लोग, धीरे धीरे सब हो जाएगा. Sorry, there is a hand here. Yes, Prabhu, I kept you waiting. Yeah, oh, yes, man, you can speak. Yeah, then we'll take his question.
Actually, a very small, quick question. Matter with your journaling, whether we are writing or typing.
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't take it up. So it's a very beautiful question. She's asking, is it okay if to type or to write on paper? This is a common question nowadays.
Third option of speech to text.
Yes, speech to text also you could do, yes. So I'll share my own honest thoughts about it. Now there are three options: speech to text, typing, and paper. Now when I'm writing a book, like I'm writing now a book, next book is on overthinking. I've completed the first 2 chapters. So when I'm writing a book, I write on computer because that is I'm creating content. Book writing is on the computer, but I'm writing journaling when I'm like connecting to myself and the Lord. I prefer paper and pen. And speech to text, very rarely I never use it, in fact, because I want to slow down my mind. So the mind becomes slowest when you write on paper and pen. See, when you're traveling in an airplane, that the planet Earth is moving at what speed in its own axis? Some lakhs of kilometers every hour. It's like no car or no vehicle can go at that speed. And that Earth planet on its own axis is moving at such high speed. And then Google Baba will tell you it's also moving at an enormous speed around the sun. Look at the 2 kind of speed we have. That's also like, I think, I once calculated, it comes to something like going to, it's like in 1 minute you go from here to Gurgaon or Delhi. 1 minute में इतना speed कुछ है. I calculated one day. That's the speed at which the Earth is moving around the sun, and I think 5 times that speed in its own axis. Crazy, no? And on that planet Earth, we are in an airplane sometimes traveling at 1000 miles per hour. And inside that airplane, you are sitting and your mind is traveling faster than all of this. तो माइंड कितना फास्ट भाग रहा है हमारा, तो पेपर पेन लेके थोड़ा ठंडा स्लो हो जाता है. स्लो हो गया ना, स्लो गिव्स लॉट ऑफ क्लैरिटी. आई एम टेलिंग यू, जस्ट स्लो डाउन योर लाइफ, जस्ट ब्रीथ. यू विल सी आवर ब्रीदिंग इटसेल्फ इज सो फास्ट. वी आर एज फाइटिंग अ बैटल. Shallow breathing, everything is, we are fighting some unknown battle. Regarding writing specifically, I would like to say this. When you love someone, you could send an emoji, you could send a WhatsApp text, or you could write a letter, card में एक अच्छे से hand written दे सकते. Which has best desired outcome in expression? I don't know. Times have changed. But for me, it's paper and pen. So when I write paper and pen, I feel more connected to Krishna, to myself. But my very close friend Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, even Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj, his journal from 2004, 2014, 2024, all journals he has on computer, he showed me once. I'm like, wow, so he is good in that. So that's why there's no hard and fast rule. Whatever helps you connect best. At the end of the day, it's about your connection. I can't give you a formula. I connect best. प्यार भरा लेटर लिखना है कृष्ण को तो पेपर पेन, दुनिया को बुक्स देना है तो कंप्यूटर. Office, I feel this is like office for me. I'm working when I'm writing a book, but journal is my private time with Krishna. Is that okay? Yes, somebody next to you had a question.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much for this session. Just one question. There's a lot to digest here. 8 type of journals and a lot.
12.
12 type of journal. So, I mean, if I have just 15 minutes a day and we want to start, so maybe some of your guidance on where to start and which type of journal.
Awareness journal is a masterpiece. It will directly take you to the soul level. Soul, awareness and prayer. This is the best. Because you will realize you are not the body. You are not the body, you are the soul. सुना है? I am not the body, I am the soul. So practical realization चाहिए तो ये करो. बोलना आसान है, I am not the body, I am the soul. But when we are provoked, we have an existential crisis. We act at the bodily level. But awareness and prayer journal helps you separate yourself from your body and mind.
Thank you.
Yes. I see 2 hands. Yes, both of you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, my question is that there are thoughts and emotions going on in the mind for 24/7. So we are journaling in our mind everything, like when I'm looking at you or understanding and doing it. But when we put down it on paper, the mind creates a block, like it purposefully tries to stop you from writing, which you also covered. So there are blocks, like when I sit down and write, what I was thinking at that time is not entire clearly I'm able to write it. So what to do?
These are teething problems. This is when you start something new, when you're shaking your comfort zone, you're starting something new, there will always be teething problems. You're starting का problems रहेगा, blockages रहेगा. So anything good you start, there will always be some obstacle, right? So this is a temporary thing. It's an imaginary bubble. आप शुरू करो बस. ये ना शुरू नहीं किया तभी ऐसा सब होता है. आप शुरू करो जैसे मैंने बोला.
I have already started doing that. I mean, long back.
Free writing किया है?
हाँ, means I have noted down my thoughts and whatever you have mentioned.
So you write this, that right now I'm going blank. My mind. What you're saying just now, that I had so many thoughts, but now see what I'm saying is whatever the situation that you put on paper. Don't go for solutions. You are talking about futuristic. I'm trying to make journal a present moment experience. I'm trying to make you come. I'm trying to push you from being in a doing mode to a being mode. We are become human doing. Journaling is supposed to make you human being. आप समझ रहे हो? तो अभी आपने जो प्रॉब्लम बताया ना, वो प्रॉब्लम को लिखो. Instead of telling me this problem, you write this problem, that when I start journaling, I go blank. Because I thought of writing something, but I'm not able to write that down. आप समझ रहे हो? That's how you puncture your mind. That's how you checkmate your mind. So go one step back, always with the mind, because you want a solution. You want to solve some problem, and when you face a bottleneck, then forget that problem. Handle what's the problem now. आपको goal को side में रखो. The more you are goal oriented, the more you are living future. The more you will be in the doing mode. So doing mode is needed, but I'm saying also spend some time in the being mode. You understand the difference between doing and being? Doing means there is a gap that you want to fill. Being is कुछ है नहीं करने के लिए अभी. You have reached your destination. अभी आपको घर जाना है तो you are in the doing mode. घर पे पहुंच गए तो कहाँ जाना है? अंदर थोड़ी भागते रहते घर के अंदर. घर पहुंच गए. That is being, right? Similarly, from morning to night, we are in the doing mode. Mind, I'm talking about the inner world. Constantly doing. ये करना है, उसके बाद ये करना है, उसके बाद वो करना है. Gaps, ये अचीव करना है. तो जर्नलिंग के थ्रू ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है. एक मिनट, वो बाद में. जर्नलिंग से कुछ नहीं करना है. जर्नलिंग, just connect to yourself. Just be with yourself. Just write what is happening in the mind now. Just put it on paper. Come to Krishna. Just be present. Don't criticize yourself. Being means you are made peace with yourself. Being state matlab आपको कुछ पाना नहीं है, कुछ खोना नहीं है, आप खुश हैं, अवेयरनेस में हैं, समझ रहे हैं? So whatever problems you are telling me, just instead of telling me, put it on paper. We'll take one question back there, and then I'll come back to the others who had. Yes. The microphone is coming.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. Prabhuji, first of all, I want to know what will be the good time to do this journaling.
I know I'm not a good person to answer that because I struggle. Morning को मंगल आरती होता है ना, कभी हमारे मंदिर में 5 बजे. Sometimes I get up early, like 2:30, 2:40, and I'm writing journals. Sometimes I hear the conch shell blow, pong, and I get guilty and I run down. So I don't want to miss मंगल आरती, but sometimes I write after morning program. Sometimes I write before. तो ये बहुत challenge मेरा हमेशा रहा है. So I can't say.
We should have some.
Yeah, because I don't know householders. You have your responsibilities, duties at home, so many things to do. So I'm not the best person to answer that. Ideally, I know for me the most productive time for journaling is the early morning. Best time, but हमेशा नहीं होता. जैसे last 5-6 days I came from US. I was only traveling, giving. So last 5 days I'm here. I'm just running to temple because I need association, Sankirtan. So अभी journaling. थोड़ा जर्नल कर रहा हूँ, बट बिफोर 5 एंड आफ्टर 9, 5 to 9 में मंदिर में रहने का, भक्तों के साथ जपा करने. तो सब अलग अलग टाइम पे अलग अलग चीज़. सी माई प्रॉब्लम इज माई कंसर्न इज व्हेन यू मेक समथिंग फिक्स ना, देन यू बिकम ट्रैप्ड बाय. थोड़ा स्पॉन्टेनियस होना चाहिए. जर्नलिंग हैज टू बी प्यार. आई वांट यू टू एंजॉय दिस, आई डोंट वांट यू टू बी बर्डन बाय दिस. आप समझ रहे हैं ना? ये भी बोझ हो गया. अरे प्रभु जी ने बोला सुबह करना चाहिए, मेरे को सुबह टाइम नहीं मिल रहा है. अरे मत करो यार, कभी भी करो कुछ.
Next is throw some light on self-love.
Self-love, very important topic. Okay, self-love is the ability to forgive yourself, the ability to accept who you are, and know that your worth is in the fact that you belong to Krishna, you are dear to Krishna. If you don't feel worthy of your relationship with Krishna, then you will never be happy. You will always keep fighting with others, criticizing others. And sometimes devotees say, if I practice self-love, I will become proud. You will not become proud if you have a gratitude journal. If you are practicing gratitude, then self-love will not lead to pride. But if you don't have gratitude journal, if you're not practicing gratitude and you are practicing self-love, then it can create some mental hang-ups. But if you don't practice self-love and you only say I'm fallen, I'm bad. What do bad people do? They do good things or bad things? So if you keep saying I'm bad, what will you do? In fact, you'll be surprised, or you may not be surprised. The more negative talk you do, that reinforces your bad behavior. You'll end up doing that very thing which you don't want to do. So instead of condemning yourself all the time, start seeing good, start seeing you are worthy. And when these pure devotees are condemning themselves, they are actually in love. वो उनका जो ना प्राइवेट चैम्बर में भगवान के साथ कुछ बातें हो रही है. See, it's like this. Mind, when we are controlled by the mind right now. We are living in that world of. So we have to separate ourselves from the mind. Then when you are at the soul level, the soul's voice, and in that relationship, whether you condemn yourself or whether you love it's all same. Because it's pure. Usme pyar, see, it's like this. A lover and a beloved are in their intimate private chamber. What they talk, there is no system there. In a public place, there may be etiquette. But in a private space, it is spontaneous. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when these pure devotees are condemning, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in private chamber in Gambhira and he's crying, remembering Krishna, he's banging his head on the wall. And his head is bleeding. He's saying, Krishna, where are you? Now you can't see that and say, okay, this is the way you get love of Krishna. So I'm going to bang my head on the wall. I'm fallen, I'm no, that won't work for you, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not banging his head on the wall to develop love for Krishna. He's banging his head on the wall because he has developed love for Krishna. I am chanting Hare Krishna because I want to develop love for Krishna. Pure devotees are chanting Hare Krishna because they have developed love for Krishna. Are you seeing the difference? For us, chanting is a means. For them, chanting is an end. आपको समझ में आ रहा है? तो इसलिए अभी हमको सेल्फ लव जरूरत है, क्योंकि इस सेल्फ लव से हम अपने आप से थोड़ा तसल्ली, पीसफुल हो गए, फिर हम कृष्ण को देख सकते हैं. We can come to Krishna. See, when recently one of the boys I was preaching to, when he used to come for the classes on and off, so marriageable age, alliances presented, so हमारा marriage board है मंदिर में, they presented a good girl, देखो शादी का भाई, ये लड़का idiot, अच्छा लड़का है, but उसको लगा humility से impress हो जाएगी वो. First time he's meeting her, I'm fallen, I'm a dog, ये वो भाग गई वो. I said, dear, put your best foot forward. I'm not saying lie. I'm not telling him that you should go and lie to her that you are. झूठ नहीं बोलने का, but ऐसे गाली भी नहीं देने का. You are a respectable person. You are such a good person. अच्छा, ऐसा नहीं कि झूठ बोलो अपने बारे में. So when you come in front of Krishna, see, have you seen in Vrindavan? How many of you gone to Nandagaon temples? You know, if you go to Vrindavan, all these temples, वो क्या बोलते हैं पांडा when you enter? ताली बजाओ, हंसो, हा 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 बोलते हैं. देखा है आपने? Why they say that? When you come in front of Krishna, be happy. Tali bajao, haso. When in morning, when you go to deity worship in the temple, before entering the altar, you can't be like, if you are sick, if you are crying, you can't enter. You have to be cheerful, smile. Radha Gopinath ki jai. Then you enter. You have to be in a happy space. You can't be miserable when you come in front of Krishna. So we are so disconnected. So when I say self-love, we're not talking about narcissistic, obsessive, egoistic love. We are talking about, यार ठीक है यार, मैं प्योर नहीं हूँ, but I'm sincere. You know, मेरे आश्रम में मैंने बोर्ड में लगा के रखा है, I'm a वानप्रस्था by nature, brahmachari by choice. I am not pure, but I am sincere. I make mistakes, but I am not a mistake. ये मैंने सामने लगा के रखा है. ये देख के लगता है हाँ यार, नहीं तो क्या है ना, we feel inadequate all the time because the bhakti standards are very high. So when I say self-love, I mean I'm okay. I want to go there, but I'm okay. You know what are the dangers now if we don't practice self-love? Krishna is here, okay? Krishna is here. You entered ISKCON at this level of your spiritual growth. And you want to get Krishna. अरे कृष्णा किधर है, कृष्ण मिल नहीं रहे, and you get frustrated because Krishna is not, Krishna loves to play hide and seek. You can't catch Krishna. You can't. It's not achieved. You know, it's received. So anyway, you are trying hard, and then if you're not happy in your bhakti practices, if you're not happy with yourself, you are like, हाँ, बहुत दूर है यार, कृष्ण तो मिल ही नहीं रहे, और हमको तो खुशी चाहिए, कुछ तो रसा चाहिए. Then you go down to the material space. So you came to bhakti at this level, and after some years of bhakti, you are here. You see what is happening? That's unfortunate. So practice self-love and move forward graciously. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Karishma, you had a question? Yes.
Sometimes what happens is
Socially?
when you're around people, especially who are not into Krishna consciousness, and when you're always around such people, it gets very difficult to convince them, or forget convincing them. We ourselves forget.
Yeah, it gets difficult to explain to them what you're doing.
And what has happened is now that I start feeling guilty for not doing things for them and spending my time reading Bhagavad Gita, or now what I do is I just shut my door and chant. Or here also I came today, I told, so I'm sorry if I lied, but I told her I'm going for a work career workshop. Um, but yeah, I mean,
You feel you can't explain that you are a Hare Krishna or you're coming to ISKCON. You can't explain to others. ठीक है, no problem. क्या कर सकते हैं? Because maybe it's not socially wherever you are connected to. Maybe it's not so acceptable and you're feeling shy or not confident. You're diffident.
but then you feel disconnected with such people all the time. Then. And when you're always around such people, what do you do?
I don't know. I have not been around such people for a long time. You need to ask devotees like you who are navigating through these challenges. In one sense, I'm living only with people who are favorable. So I have to deal with such people only rarely, for some time when I'm traveling extensively, especially when I'm traveling. I know it's a temporary phase. I can come back. So your challenge is genuine, and I can only give some gyan. I can't actually help you, but I'm sure there are people who can talk to. ठीक है? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Many communities, yeah. There we have one Muslim girl who's coming here to temple. You can imagine her challenges. She's attracted to Krishna because Krishna is all attractive. So these are common challenges. So it's not easy. That's why I'm trying to say. I'm telling all of you, भक्ति को थोड़ा आराम खुशी से करो, क्योंकि already बाहर लाइफ में बहुत challenges है. Sorry? Krishna will reciprocate. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody and any last comment? Okay, 2 hands, 3 hands. क्या करना है? कौन है in charge? See, I'm okay with another few minutes, but I don't know about all of you. Should we wait? Should we take 5 more minutes?
Yes, probably.
5 minutes more. We can take, yeah, fast up तीनों का. हाँ, पहले वो दोनों का ले लेता हूँ. ठीक. Yes.
This is a question on the prayer and the awareness journal. So from the awareness, from the prayer journal, I'll go to the awareness journal whenever I don't feel prayerful or it doesn't sound good to me. But then udhar bhi gap ho gaya, then I come back to the prayer journal. Then again, if I don't feel like praying, neither am I aware of any thoughts. There are no thoughts. Where do I go? Stop.
I didn't understand the last part.
I'm saying that from my awareness journal, I came to the prayer journal, writing down my prayers. After that, there are no prayers also.
बस हो गया ना, पेट भर गया. So, yeah, bhakti the what is that verse? Tushti pushti kshudapayonu ghasam. So when you're eating prasad, the Bhagavatam 11th canto explains, you know that tushti pushti kshudapaya. You know at a certain time you are satisfied, you are nourished, and your hunger is gone. Similarly, bhakti para isha anubhava viraktir anyatra cha ekakala. At the same time you experience all three. You know, satisfaction, connection with Krishna, freedom from material desire. So similarly, journaling at a certain point of time. Like today, see, yesterday I wrote 2 hours. Today I wrote 1 hour 20 minutes. Today I wrote 1 hour 10 minutes. क्यों? हो गया, पेट भर गया आज. कल 2 घंटा लिखना पड़ा मुझे. Then I felt हाँ हो गया, satisfied. तो ऐसा है. So that's okay. Don't think too much about it. है ना? Yes.
Prabhuji, is it necessary to make any file or any book, or I can take a paper, write it down and just let it go? Is it fine to do?
Paper is okay. Like मेरा paper में I keep my papers 540 pages हो गया इस साल का. Paper is better.
Then it's, no. I mean, do I have to preserve it or it's okay if I let it
Depends on what your need. For example, for me, sometimes when I write,
because I'm scribbling sometimes. I'm not writing very systematically.
Yeah. See, I don't know your need. Like
and
for
I'm
example,
not reading it also again and again. And I don't want to read once also what I've written.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have a need. For me, there's a need.
Okay.
So I preserve.
And can I pick up any topic like 12 you have given, so today I pick up this.
Yes. आज खिचड़ी खाया, कल पिज़्ज़ा खाओ, परसों डोसा खाओ.
But it is important to cover all 12 regularly, otherwise.
नहीं.
I'm
आप
just
अपना
doing
निकालो ना.
gratitude.
No. You make your own 15 types of journal. ना मेरा I'm just sharing what I'm doing. It's not something great.
Okay. So except question and answer, we don't want to need to preserve any papers and all. It's okay. I have to throw it in a dustbin every day.
Yeah. फेंक दो.
Okay.
लिखो भी
Because
मत
I don't
चलेगा.
want to clutter my house.
Yeah. Please. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I know I'm amazed by all of your innocence and the way you're asking questions. I feel that I'm just sharing what I'm doing. You don't have to take it seriously at all. The whole idea of this workshop is, I'll repeat, the whole workshop, the agenda was this. Discover your own unique ways of connecting with the Lord. I'm sharing my heart with you so that you are inspired to also connect with the Lord in your own unique way. Is that clear?
Can you repeat again?
Connect with the Lord. भगवान के साथ जोड़ो. In your own unique. I follow the BJP formula: breathing, journaling, and praying. There is no politics or pun intended. Like breathing is very important for me. आपको पता है breathing कितना important है? हम लोग, if you just start breathing slowly and normally, you will get 90% of the problems will be solved. हम हमेशा fighting some battle. Your sympathetic nervous system is hyperactive always. जैसे when I was in college, एक बार train accident से मैं बाल बच गया था. So after that, I didn't go to the college. I went back home, and for the next 1 week, I was traumatized because I saw death from close quarters. Even now, when I remember that incident, I can see my breathing is shallow. Are you getting what I'm saying? And when I joined, in 98, first time I saw my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj. First time when I met him, he embraced me and he spoke, and I got so overwhelmed emotionally, spiritually. And then I was breathing deep, slowly. Now rich. I was loved. You know what I'm saying? That is, I don't know when was the last time you have breathed like this. That is a breathing in the space of being contented, happy, slow. Generally, we are breathing as if a train is going to hit you anytime. Imagine you are living like this from morning to night. भाग रहे हैं, कुछ तो fighting कर रहे हैं. So conscious, just like when you are in danger, you breathe fast, and when you are in love, you breathe deep and slow. Similarly, we can reverse the whole psychology. You learn to breathe slow, you will feel loved. आप समझ रहे हैं? उल्टा गेम खेलो. तो लाइफ को थोड़ा आसान बनाओ. So begin with breathing. So breathing, journaling, and praying are my ways of connecting with Krishna. If you want to try journaling, I'm there for you, but I am not a proponent of journaling because I know you have enough obligations in life, enough challenges. I don't want to give you one more. रोज सुबह 15 मिनट लिखो. आप बोलेंगे यार ऑलरेडी आपने बोला ना डेवोटीज बोलते ये करो सफर करो, तभी एक और डेवोटी ने बोला. So don't be in that pressure. मजा करो भक्ति में, प्रसाद खाओ, हरि बोल. Okay, we'll stop here. Yes, one. Okay, yes.
One lecture of yours, like Prabhupada says that chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So you said the literal meaning of it is be happy and do your chanting.
Both. There are,
Be
yeah.
happy and at the same time do your
Some people say chant Hare Krishna and be happy means we chant Hare Krishna, you will be happy. That is the meaning many people derive. I take it differently. I say chant, Prabhupada said two things here. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy also. दोनों करने का. Chanting Hare Krishna for many of us becomes duty. Duty is also needed, in relationship. Like my mom, I remember, I tell her thank you every day now. When we were young, we could never realize, we were never grateful. She didn't like to cook every day for us, but she did it. Sometimes she was happy, sometimes she was not happy, but we kiya. That's why we got good prasad, good food. So कुछ चीजें किया as a duty. But if you are doing only duty, then you will go crazy. You also need to do things which you love. So chanting for me is duty, but journaling is what I love. So duty भी चाहिए relationship में, love भी चाहिए. You can't only do what you like to do in the relationship, and you can't be only doing duty obligation. So my request is keep minimum duty in bhakti and maximum happy. क्योंकि बाहर के दुनिया में, okay, material world experience is ड्यूटी इज मोर देन एक्सपीरियंस. स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में भी इफ ड्यूटी इज मोर देन एक्सपीरियंस, फिर आप कहाँ जाओगे? यू विल गो टू नेटफ्लिक्स फॉर हैप्पीनेस देन. हाँ, वो नहीं मिलेगा, 100% नहीं मिलेगा. बट आई एम जस्ट सेइंग पीपल, आई हैव सीन devotees because they don't get, they are burdened with duties in the material world and no experience, so they come to Hare Krishna hoping that they'll get more of experience, and here we burden them with burden duties. तो यहाँ पे भी ड्यूटी इज मोर देन एक्सपीरियंस, बाहर भी ड्यूटी इज मोर देन एक्सपीरियंस. बाहर वाले तो आप तो फिर बाहर वालों से ज्यादा मिजरेबल हो गए. तो वी शुड ट्राई टू गेट मोर एक्सपीरियंस इन भक्ति देन ड्यूटी एंड बर्डन. आपको समझ में आया मेरा? तो पूरा 6 घंटे का वर्कशॉप में सब भूल गए चलेगा, ये एक पॉइंट याद रखो. You will be happy Hare Krishna devotee. Make your life, fill your life, Hare Krishna life with more of experiences. कीर्तन में मजा आता है तो कीर्तन में भाग लो. गार्लैंड बनाना अच्छा लगता है. I know one brahmachari likes knitting. Generally, you know, it's I'm not gender or discriminate नहीं कर रहा हूँ, but generally I've seen women like that. But he likes it because it helps him connect with Krishna. He makes small sweaters. मजा करता है वो, गार्लैंड बनाता है. He is so happy. Great. I tell him do that. आपको जो भगवान से जो जुड़ते हैं आप, उससे आप लगे रहो. डोंट गेट बर्डन चाहिए, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी चाहिए रिलेशनशिप में. रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं होगा ना, देन यू विल नॉट ग्रो. बट ओनली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, देन आपका रिलेशनशिप स्टेन हो जाएगा. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. So I shared with you what makes me happy: journaling, breathing, praying. And if you want to discuss journaling with me, I will always be available. But whenever I sense or smell कि आपको स्ट्रेस हो रहा है, आपको उसका सिस्टम बना रहे हो, बर्डन हो रहा है, मैं बोलूँगा जर्नलिंग छोड़ दो बाबा, मॉर्निंग वॉक पे चले जाओ, थोड़ा घूम के आओ. आप ठीक है ना? खुश रहो. हरे कृष्णा. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. थैंक यू वेरी मच. हरे कृष्णा.